Let me invite Mr. Ashish Kumar, who is Managing Director of Dr. Wilmer's Kwabe India Private Limited. His bio is on the screen again. A thorough expert in this space and has led the businesses and turned around the businesses. I'm glad to have you on board as well. Two requests I have. One for all the panel members, if you are able to stick in 5 minutes so that we are able to hear all the views and have time for discussion as well. And second, I think again going back to the theme that we discussed, uh, role of nutraceutical, that's one which is sort of well established. But I think important is to look at and probe a bit more in this discussion is challenges and opportunities that we see mostly in herbal nutraceutical space, because that's where today's discussion is, and that's where today the country is as well. There is a huge opportunity, but then there is a lingering on question as well, especially now in data-driven world. We look for data for everything, and that may not be the case for many of the age-old practices that has been proven well. I think that's where the dilemma is, from the government, from the research, from the societies, from the regulators, everywhere. And I think your thoughts around that would be helpful. So again, welcome, Mr. Kumar, and happy to hear your views as well.
Fair enough. Thank you, Arun, and thanks, Shosham, for conducting this and giving me an opportunity to be a part of this eminent group of panelists. As we started with the industry, I mean, just to give you a perspective of the industry, that the industry which is close to the nutraceutical industry, which is close to $65 billion worldwide in global terms, and this is one of the few industries, rare industry apart from some of the new technologies, which has been growing consistently for the last 10 years in double-digit growth rates. So we are fortunate to be a part of this industry. It's even last year it grew around 15, 16%. And if I see the CAGR of the last 10 years, we are more than 10% for the last 10 years. So the growth is phenomenal. And the important part is that the Indian medicine system, Ayurveda, yoga, homeopathy, even though it's more German to start with, but now the prominence of that is very strongly embedded into India more than the German part of it. All these are growing worldwide phenomenally well. If you talk about just to give you a perspective of how ashwagandha, which is one of the most important herbs in India, worldwide is more importantly known as ashwagandha than Withenia somnifera. So, you go to the German part, French part, they call ashwagandha, and that tells you how things have started to percolate. Certain other countries, if you see also, there also Tulsi is known as Tulsi and not to the scientific name. So this is a good sign which we are seeing. A very from a commercial point of view, if you see the rates of these herbs, ashwagandha actually went 5 times of what it was as the year before. And that tells you the demand supply situation, and that tells you that the demand of these products are very, very high worldwide, not just in India. The same is true with curcumin. This showcases the strength of India, the strength of Ayurveda worldwide. We have a huge subsidiary in US, which is one of the largest nutraceutical manufacturers in the US with the brand name of Alive. And they actually make videos coming into India, how curcumin is, taken up from the farms, and they show that this is the real herbs. So this is, the fact is that apart from the multivitamins and proteins which are being taken, there is a huge scope, huge development of Indian herbs worldwide, and the demand is surging, and we have seen this coming up quite strongly in the last few months and years. The challenges, as Arun said, that one of the biggest challenge which we face and which we need to address is the fact that from a empirical evidence which was there in the books and in the past systems, we need to move towards a scientific based evidence. And this is where, a lot of the companies have started, but it's a very slow start. And that is one of the biggest challenge we are facing as a when we talk about Ayurveda. Maybe in India, we still are very much relevant, but if we have to make it quite big globally, and which we see this as a huge possibility post-COVID. Also, the trend moving towards more natural and towards holistic treatment. I think this is where we have to work. I'll just give you very recently we started work with with one of the products which is known as Carica papaya and turmeric. These two products we have taken to AIIMS Orissa, because AIIMS has got a huge recognition worldwide. And we saw that in the post chemotherapy, thrombocytopenia was quite prevalent. And believe me, in the trials are still, the studies are still on, but the first report which we have got, it clearly shows that Carica papaya actually heals big time in post chemotherapy thrombocytopenia. We were actually looking into an article published by PubMed very recently, and that was purely based on the recent phenomena of COVID, where they saw that, like most other viral infections, even post-COVID, thrombocytopenia comes in, and actually for 36.2% of the patients, the platelet count goes below 150,000. But when we treat them with Carica papaya, it comes back within 2 weeks to a normal level. In severe cases, 58% of the people were treated with Carica papaya. And that tells you the strength of our system. Maybe even though it was based on empirical evidence in the past, but when we start to do a scientific evidence-based modeling, we see a lot of benefits coming out of this. And I see this as a challenge, but I think I would take this opportunity to also thank Dr. Mudeep that SAMI is leading this big time worldwide in terms of R&D, without any doubts. And so fortunate to have these types of company, but we need many, many more companies like this who can actually give inputs on the scientific based study, as we go into the future. And that is going to be the challenge. And that is definitely, if we work on it, it's going to explore the whole market. Thank you.
Thank you.